Hello everyone. So in today's videos we will going to learn about SQL and what is SQL and what is the anatomy of SQL, what are the different commands of SQL we have, what is F join, inner joint, what are the relationships, cardinality and everything. So let's first start with SQL. So SQL stand for Structured Query Language. It's used to interact with relational databases for storing, manipulating, and retrieving datasets. So we got it right. Its use is somewhere used, right? And what was the use? To basically interact with relational databases. Now we got it right. So it's used to interact with. But what is this relational databases? And even though the database is clear, what is this relationships? Relational. And so let's first understand what is this relational databases mean. Let's suppose we have databases. So databases most of the times are having the form of different table. So suppose we have three table 1, table 2, table 3, and there are some relationship between these three tables, and these relationships we call as relationships only, and this is we call as relational databases. Let's take one example. Suppose we have two tables, one is citizen and another one is city table. Citizen table contain information about citizen, so we have citizen ID, the name of citizen, and the city ID. Now we have the city table also, which has the city ID and the city name. So the common entity between these two tables are the city ID, and on the basis of this we have create a relationship. So this is the relational databases we have. So the SQL is used to interact with the relational databases for storing, manipulating and retrieving databases. Now you might ask how we will do all this thing, like how we will store data sets, how we will manipulate our data sets, how we will retrieve the data. So for that we have SQL command. So if we classify our SQL command, it is actually based on five types: DDL, data definition language; DQL, data query language; DML, data manipulation; DCL, data control language; TCL, transaction control language. So we got to understand, like, okay, we have different command to use our database, right? To manipulate, to control our data sets, and to retrieve our data sets, right? Now we have, let's, the first command is DDL, which is data definition language. Within data definition language, we have four type of command. One is create, drop. Drop is used to drop the database. Alter, to use to change the data. And the trunket. Trunker used to, like, to basically multiply, something like that. DML, data manipulation language. We have insert, to insert data line, update command, delete command. All these will be in the form of capital. Call command. Then we have just a second. Yeah, explain call command. And the last one is log command. Then we have TCL, transaction control language. Then transaction control language we have commit, we have save point, we have rollback, we have set, transaction. All these you use in the form of transaction finance data basically. Set constraint, then we have DQL, data query language, we have select function, then we have DCL, like data control language, so we have grant and revoke. So all these are the type of data command, SQL command. Now we need to understand, okay, we got to understand what is SQL. SQL is used to interact with the relational databases for storing, manipulating and retrieve database. We got to understand about what is relational database look like, and then we understand the type of SQL command, like okay, let's suppose we want to store, manipulate and retrieve data, how we will do. So for that we have different commands. Now how we will write all these commands, so we need to understand the anatomy of SQL language. So suppose we have a data relational database in which we have one citizen table and the another one is city table. Citizen table consists city name and city ID, and then we have city, within city we have city ID and city name. And the question given is that you need to return. So the question is that you need to return a table, okay, which has city name, just sorry, yeah, which has city name as city column, okay, and the count of city, and the count of city, and you need to return in the ascending order, and you need to only return the two entries. So this is the problem we have. There is one more condition, that your city name should not equals to San Bruno. Okay, so this is the different condition we have. So this was the question. So we need to understand uh, how this thing anatomy of SQL work. So the first part we need to understand that we need to return city, which is the city name, and the count of city. So first we have to return that, we have to write that what you want to select. So we want to select city name as city, and for end we use comma. We need to return the count of city, right? And from where we will return, so we have database as this, right? We have data relational database which has citizen and city table. So we need to think about, how we can have a join between between two tables. So we will return from citizen table, sorry, we will return from citizen table, and we will join the citizen table with the city table, and we know the common between these two tables is city ID. So the citizen dot city ID will be equals to city dot city, right? City ID, sorry, yeah, where city name not equals to San Bruno. We will put condition, where condition, and the group by will be on the basis of city dot city name, and the count of this will be greater than equals to 2. So there was one more condition, that the count of city should be greater than equals to 2, and the order will be on the basis of city name, ascending order we need, and the limit we need two. Basically we need only two entries. So this is the anatomy of SQL. This is how we write our SQL command. And yeah, now let's move to the cardinality. So we got to understand, like, okay, we have relational databases. Relational databases has tables, and between these tables we have relationships, and these relationships has different cardinality. We have cardinality, we have ordinality also. So cardinality is the maximum time a entry a entity can relate to an instance with another entity. Okay, instance with another entity. So cardinality is the maximum of time a entity can relate to a instance with another entity. Okay, ordinality on the other hand is the minimum time a entity can relate to an instance with another entity. Okay, now we need to understand what are the different type of uh, relationships we can have. We can have one to one. How we will represent these from these relationships? Let's suppose we have this one relationships 101. So basically we represent something like that. Many, let's suppose this is relationships we have many to many, one and only one. So this we represent something like this, one and only one. So it only has one and it should be have one, right? One or many, we represent this by this one uh, or many, right? This is how we represent one or many. So this is about cardinality, ordinality, and relationship. Let's understand the join function. So let's suppose we have two tables. Let's give you one example. So yeah, let's suppose you guys have two tables. Okay, so we have one student table, another one is score table. Within student table we have ID and the name of student. In the second we have ID, but then we have subject and the score. Okay, now let's suppose within ID we have 1 2 4 5. Here we have 1 2 3 4 5 6, right? Now what it does, the inner joint will basically do a magic, which basically take from these two tables when we do the inner joint. So it is only to take the common element. So if we look at the common element, so it will return a table only, but within table we have 1 2 and then 4 5, only these entries, and for these entries we have the respective number and nothing else. When we do the left join, so this is the left join, so when we do the left join, it will have all the left entries, which is 1 2 4 5 and nothing else. But you will see, let's suppose there is one more entry 7, so we also have 7. So for 7 entry we have null here, so we don't have anything in the score. When we do the right join, so this is right join, we have all the entries from the right, 1 2 3 4 5 6, and we don't have 3, so instead of for this 3 we have null entry. And we will do outer join. This is outer join, full outer. We have both the entry from both the table, but for the entry which is not present we will put as a null. So we need to solve these problem on the basis of questions. So I hope you got the understanding of all the type of what is SQL. So SQL is used to interact with the relational databases. We understand one example of relational databases is used to store, manipulate, and retrieve the data. And we got to understand like, okay, if it is used to store, manipulate, there should be some command. So we got the understanding of different commands and their classification. And then we got a question that how we will write the SQL queries. So we got the anatomy of SQL, how we will solve different problems. And then we understand about the relationships, like what are the cardinality, ordinality, and what are the different type of relationships can exist between two tables. And we got to know about the when we join them, what are the different type of join we can have, and all this thing. I hope you like this lecture. Bye bye.